Welcome. And today we'll dive into two separate confessions and their reactions. The first is a post from Count_Spectre titled, "I knowingly stuck a booger to my boss's hand and let a customer get blamed for it." And the second is a post from Beakless Bird titled, "I was a drugged out Sunday school teacher for months." Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. Oh boy, let's get ready for some confessions. Count Spectre posted, "I knowingly stuck a booger to my boss's hand and let a customer get blamed for it." A few years ago, I was a salesman for a tool company, and as I'm sure you all know, salespeople shake hands all the time when closing a deal. So one day on my lunch break I was sitting in my car eating my salad. And for some reason I felt like a hard dried snot stuck in my nostril. So obviously I didn't think anybody was around or watching me. So I went and dug for gold. Well, as soon as I pulled the giant flaky booger with a snail trail of slime on it, my boss, who just got back from vacation, bops the hood of my car and reaches in for a handshake. I kind of panicked and just shook his hand. We talked for a few about his vacation. And then he saw somebody walk into the showroom, so he went in the building. I finished up lunch and headed back into work. I punch back in, and I just hear from the showroom, "What the F?" And then I hear gagging and coughing. My boss is holding his hand away like it's a dirty diaper. He's dry heaving and he says, "That guy just wiped a effing booger on me." And I look across the room and see this old guy standing there in total disbelief, and he let my boss have it. He's telling my boss he's never coming back. Told him to stop picking his nose like a window licker. And a few other colorful sentences. My boss kicks him out. While this whole thing is going down, all I can think to myself is, holy poop, I got away with it. I just drove by my old work, and thought about that time and figured it was time to confess. What are your thoughts on Count Spectre's confession? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this confession. The Cookie 007 reacted with, "See, this is what this subreddit is all about, lol." Michael Pitch reacted with, "I'm already laughing at the title. This has been my most enjoyable laugh in quite a while. Thank you, Op. I haven't slept yet, it's 5 a.m. here, and you've made my day already." Count Spectre followed up with, "Well, I guess confessing made me feel better after all. You're very welcome." Bree9and9 reacted with, "Do you think your boss ever pieced everything together and realized it was from you?" Count Spectre followed up with, "I'm not sure. He was pretty set that it was the old guy who came in. Lol." Queen Renowned reacted with, "That's it. You're going to hell. Hope you packed your bags. Lol." Count Spectre followed up with, "I was hoping my confession might slow that process." Pete4241 reacted with, "There are two types of people in this world. People who admit they are nose pickers. And people who don't admit it." Rip Rabbi Teen reacted with, "Should have just eaten the booger." Count Spectre reacted with, "Didn't have a chance to, my boss took away the opportunity, how rude." Welvet reacted with, "I was sitting at a Panera Bread with an older family friend one day. At one point he coughed on his hand and continued to eat his meal with a quarter-sized loogie hanging out on top of his hand, on the webbed part between thumb and index finger. I couldn't take my eyes off of it, so I excused myself to the bathroom. When I came back it was gone. I always wondered if age diminishes our ability to notice stuff like food on our mouth or snot in our hand." Thalmeyer reacted with, "One time my husband and I got into a pretty big argument. And I wiped a booger on his back. He didn't notice and I told him the next day. He was grossed out but laughed. 3 days later he gets me back with a booger on my arm. That was almost 14 years ago. And we still have booger fights. We are weird, I know." Well, I told you this was going to be a 2-for-1 and this first one was really just an icebreaker, so let's get serious now for our real confession. Beakless Bird posted. I was a drugged out Sunday school teacher for months. Before Corona shut my church down. I was abusing Percocet, gabapentin, and alcohol just about every single day. Especially perks on Sundays when I would teach the children. I remember one Sunday, coming down from an ecstasy roll as I was talking to the kids about God's love. Pupils the size of discs in the church house. Multiple Sundays, I took Percocet before arriving and puked my brains out in the bathroom, 10 minutes before service started. I feel terrible about this because I signed an agreement to refrain from abusing drugs while being in the position to teach the kids. But, obviously, I broke that agreement, continually for months. I've been clean for 4 months now, but the guilt still eats me up. Edit. Thank you everyone for taking time to comment on this post. Part of the guilt and shame I didn't mention was that I wasn't fully there with them. I mean, I did the best I could before the pills, but I felt inadequate because I was so anxious. Trying to cope with my then unknown or unresolved trauma and social anxiety. However, on the perks or gabas, I felt I was more relaxed and less on edge, and I believed that was good for everyone. I truly believed I was a better person and more present because I no longer felt any of my anxiety or emotional pain. What a slippery slope opiates are. I'm not justifying my actions, simply giving more context to my situation. I am coping much more healthily now. It's hard work. But I just look forward to the day I'm a better and more present me. Again, thank you all for your incredibly kind comments. I wasn't expecting them at all. What are your thoughts on Beakless Bird's confession? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this confession. Swesson22 reacted with, "Congratulations for being clean. You've done the hard work, now stick at it. Beating yourself up won't do any good. But putting your newfound sober energy into genuinely helping those kids will. I'm so proud of you." I keep my nipples dry reacted with, "Don't worry buddy. Your regret shows you can learn from this and you're still a good person." At Camp 97 reacted with, "I was addicted to oxycodone for years, and definitely did a lot of things that make me cringe now to think about. I was always in very responsible, put together adult sort of roles while I was an addict. And it makes me feel very guilty to think of all the people who only thought the best of me while I was high sitting in front of them. But hey, all we can do is continue to improve and be better than we were as addicts. Addiction makes you into a different person, and you truly do end up doing things you never would have imagined clean. I didn't hit rock bottom as hard as some people do. But I still have my fair share of embarrassment. Keep on keeping on." Beakless Bird followed up with, "Thank you for sharing. The cringe is almost crippling when I think back to the way I used to act or be. Goodness gracious. I'm sure it was obvious to whoever was around me if they too experienced pain pills. The nose itches. The low eyes. The giddiness, etc. The people in my church are very open and honest about addiction, and many have shared their testimonies of sobriety, so I'm sure they knew. It was hard for me to admit to myself that a high-functioning addict is still an addict. But the moment I did, my outlook on what I was doing immediately changed. Took weeks to finally quit. But hey, I'm just thankful to still be here." At Camp 97 chimed in with, "Yep, that was one of my biggest hurdles to getting clean too. It's easy to convince yourself that you're not a real addict when you've got a good job, good friends, good health, all that stuff. It feels like you've got it all together. Once I got clean though, I started realizing just how much my actions were actually influenced by pills. I was barely ever sleeping, because I wanted to have time to enjoy my high after a long day. I was losing weight like crazy because I never had an appetite. I was constantly 5 minutes late to work because I would oversleep. I would meet my dealer on my lunch break. If I didn't have the pills I would look like absolute death in a way that had to be very obvious. I'm not really a huge NA fan personally, it's just a little too rigid for my taste. But one of their little mantras was immensely helpful to me during early recovery, to change your people, places and things. I stopped hanging out with a lot of people when I got clean. Anyone who used, even if they didn't do it in front of me, I just couldn't stand to be around for a long time without getting urges. And places, every addict knows that there are those certain places that just scream at you to use. I had a night job as a server for extra cash, and I had to quit that job as soon as I committed to getting clean. I was just too used to getting cash, having a dealer run pills to me in the parking lot and doing them. Certain places that I was always high at were big triggers, or places where I had memories of doing drugs. I actually moved about a half hour away from my hometown and that helped a lot, but that's not feasible for everyone. And you'll figure out the things that trigger you eventually and how to avoid them. Congrats on getting clean. A few years down the road, my life is completely changed for the better. In active addiction, I thought I was doing pretty damn swell as a functioning addict. But it was nothing compared to how great my life is sober. I hope it goes the same for you. Boy Friday reacted with, "Don't sweat it, especially if you never made anyone noticeably uncomfortable. I experienced severe substance abuse for about 5 years and most definitely made a complete fool of myself more times than I can count. Granted, I never was in a church, wouldn't care if I was though, or teaching children. Really not a big deal though, but I understand drug guilt." Celtic Questful followed up with, "I'm sorry, but it is a big deal. And the truth is that when one is under the influence, you aren't able to properly discern how others are feeling because you're not functioning at a level where your interpretation of the world around you is accurate. I say this not to shame or evoke guilt, but because it's important not to trivialize the behavior and the impact it has on the individual and their community. And because it is only through acknowledgement that we can fully grasp what we've done and what we need to do to stay off that path going forward. It took courage to assess that this wasn't a healthy path for you or the innocence in your charge. And I want to congratulate you on all the hard work it has taken to move forward from that point. I wish you and everyone struggling with substance abuse continued courage and support in moving forward. Regret and guilt will only tie you to where you've been, so try to focus on the redemption that is possible in finding renewed purpose and health." Smash Together reacted with, "Opiates take over your life in ways you don't expect. I'm proud of you for getting out of it. You are not your mistakes. You are a whole person who is capable of good, and you are on the path to being the person you want to be. That's huge. Every day is a victory and you deserve to feel good about your progress instead of feeling shitty about the past. I'm at 9 months without opiates, and I can tell you it gets easier. Focus on the present and future, and take what you learned from the past while leaving the rest behind. The important thing is, no one got hurt. Yeah, things could have gone very wrong, but in the end, no real damage was done. There is no use in dwelling on what could have happened. Just learn from it, and try to put it behind you. Maybe it would be cathartic to do some community service for kids in your area. Maybe not working with them directly, but donating or volunteering your time. It could bring you some inner peace to put some good back into the world." Be It From reacted with, "Stay away from the kids." Richman_24 reacted with, "It's alright, at least you aren't a pedophile like many garbage priests at those money-grabbing churches." Scott456 reacted with, "Holy poop, this sounds like a Vince Gilligan script." You know, I didn't know who Vince Gilligan was. So I went to look him up. I definitely know all these shows. Cool. Wampipap reacted with, "I don't believe in God. But after all I've heard, I'm 100% sure he's got your back and is sending all his love to you. I don't believe the religion. But if it's true, he created you, me, and all of us. We all have our struggles and God knew we could handle them. Love yourself, love your young students, love the universe. That you use drugs doesn't mean you can't teach them anything of value. Quite the opposite. You know how deep the rabbit hole goes, maybe you can offer them some guidance, especially the kids who are having trouble in life. Take care of yourself so you can help others. You deserve to be in a good place. Make sure you are in a good place, that way you'll have the mental space to be there for others. You are doing great. You are moving forward, working hard, so much better than some time ago. I'm proud of you, God is too, and I hope you will feel the same someday. The guilt you feel is normal. It sucks, but it's useful. Your feelings help prevent you relapsing. Let this guilt guide you to the right path. This guilt is the universe or God telling you that you don't want to go back to that place. You want to be a better person and you know you can do it. You've done it until now, you can do it a bit longer. Your experience may even help others who are going down the same path. Use your knowledge wisely, both for yourself and the people around you. Find some meaning in all this suffering. That's the least you can do for yourself. If you can, tell 1 or 2 people about what you've gone through. Some people you can trust to keep this to themselves, people who support you and love you. You don't have to tell everyone. God knows what you struggled with and how hard you worked to be a better person. I'm sure He forgives you and loves you even more because you work so hard and have such hard feelings. I see how hard you worked and got better, so why wouldn't God see that? He knows it all, He knows you too. He loves you and forgives you, just as much as any close friend would if you told them what happened and how you worked your way through it. I hope you stop feeling guilty and can accept your journey in the future. You wouldn't be the same person if you didn't experience this. Maybe you could try to help other people with your experience. Listen. Give advice. Be yourself. Do what feels right. Above all, you got a good heart, use it as you see fit. You got this. Love you. Stay strong. Beakless Bird followed up with, "Wow, thank you so much. This really moved me. I appreciate you taking the time to leave such a kind and encouraging response." Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.